Hey there, wrestling fans. Brian Blitz here, and welcome to another exciting edition of Superstars of the Ring here at ccwrestling.biz. Alright folks, on this week's show, we're going to hear a rebuttal from Landon Cruz, the new breed, concerning Toxic's very vicious comments last week in a match that they recently had, concerning a match that they recently had in Lake City. Now, as all of you know, on last week's episode, we saw how that match went to a 15-minute time limit draw. It's a rarity here in CCW, but in this case, it did happen because these two men right there could not beat one another. There was no decided victor, and obviously, somewhere down the line, there's going to have to be a winner in a match in the future, but all that remains to be seen. Toxic had some words, and now Landon Cruz has some words to retort. So let's hear from the new breed.
Toxic. Everybody saw what happened in Lake City, Florida. Southern States Championship match. Went down all the way to the end. 15 minutes are up. The match was a draw. But guess who was laying on top when it was all over? Myself, the new breed Landon Cruz. If there was 3 more seconds in that match, that championship is mine. Toxic, of course you had to come in there. Match was over for the cheap shot. No surprise there. You think you put me out for good. You think you ended the early career of new breed Landon Cruz. Toxic, I want to let you know one thing. You didn't put me out. You did not end my career just as it's starting. Toxic, you've only pissed me off. So I'm going to issue out a challenge here. The biggest show of the year, WrestleBash 2018. You and me, 1 hour for the Southern States Championship match. Plenty of time to see who's the better athlete.
Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Listen, I've been very fortunate to watch Landon Cruz's rise here in CCW in the short time that he's been here, and he's an incredible athlete, an incredible nice kid, and I've never seen him, in quite the temperament that he is right now, and he definitely wants another shot at Toxic in the Southern States Championship, and it looks to me like he's going to need all the time in the world because Toxic's going to give him every bit that he has. That being said, hopefully we can get more updates and maybe even a match signed for WrestleBash. It is coming up, so maybe the Southern States Championship might just have to be on the line. Now on to this week's match. As many of you know, for the better part of a year, if not longer now, Rock and Roll Chris Turner has definitely had quite a vicious rivalry with a former protege of his, Shooter McGee. Now, Shooter McGee grew kind of bitter towards Rock and Roll Chris Turner and felt that he was being overshadowed, and things are really starting to spill into this feud. On this week's show, we're going to see a recent match that they had also in Lake City, Florida, that well, I don't like to spoil how matches end, so I just want you fans to see exactly what happened between Shooter McGee and Rock and Roll Chris Turner.
Welcome, CCW fans here. This is a match we have all been waiting for. Legendary Chris Turner and Shooter McGee squaring off. These guys used to be very close friends, and now they pretty much hate each other's guts. They've been feuding for a very long time now after Shooter McGee turned on Chris Turner, joined the Diamond Exchange, sold out, did it for the money. The Diamond Exchange has been lurking after Chris Turner ever since. Shooter McGee has said he is trying to end the career of Rock and Roll Chris Turner, and Shooter McGee can see he's already in the ring. Finally, this match will finally happen one-on-one after multiple brutal attacks. Shooter McGee now has to face the music.
You don't want none, old man. Huh?
And as we've come to expect, Shooter McGee starting the match off on the outside of the ring, taunting Chris Turner.
I'm gonna send you back to the nursing home, old man.
There you hear Shooter McGee saying, I'm gonna send you back to the nursing home.
Come on. Real easy, run your mouth.
And now this match is officially underway. Shooter McGee steps in the ring. Chris Turner chomping at the bit. And Shooter McGee immediately to the outside of the ring. Finally a tie-up. Chris Turner moving with power and speed that we haven't seen in a long time. He's out for revenge, but that time took a little too much time. Nobody home on the elbow, and Shooter McGee escapes.
I'm sorry, man. I just want to be his friend, man. I just want to be his friend.
Rolls to the outside of the ring, and I don't think anybody can believe that. Shooter McGee obviously wants to spend more time talking on the outside of the ring than actually inside the ring with that man there, Chris Turner.
Come on, man. I'm sorry. Come on. I'm sorry, man. Come on.
With a very sincere apology, Shooter McGee offers a hand.
I'm sorry.
Tries to kick Chris Turner. Of course, Chris Turner knew what was going on. Wasn't falling for that. And again, Shooter McGee rolls up in the fetal position outside of the ring, trying to avoid the offense of legendary rock and roll Chris Turner. Once again, tie up, middle of the ring. I bet that felt good, at least for Chris Turner, dropping that double stomp right on the chest. Shooter McGee able to get the shoulder up. This is a more aggressive Chris Turner than we have seen in the past. He has got a score to settle. Threatening to break the arm of Shooter McGee, and of course, Shooter would have jumped at that chance had the roles been reversed. This time Shooter, forearm to the back of the head, dropping those elbows. And it's been all Chris Turner in this match so far until now. Shooter McGee finally generating some offense, being absolutely relentless to Chris Turner. You notice how Chris Turner didn't try to escape to the outside of the ring. Stayed in the ring, unlike Shooter McGee, whose first chance he'll get, he will jump to the outside of the ring. This time Turner kicked to the outside of the ring. Head bouncing off that floor. Chris Turner might be concussed, maybe at the very least. See him trying to shake the cobwebs out, and he gets ran right into that steel turnpost. A swift kick to the gut. Shooter McGee right now appears to be in full control over Chris Turner. Moves him into the ropes. And already woozy. Chris Turner now finds himself and a sleeper hold from Shooter McGee.
I got him.
Turner, this could be it for Chris Turner.
One, yeah. I got him.
That's two. One more, and this is it for Chris Turner.
No.
Chris Turner
No.
starting to show some life. Turner fighting his way out of this one. Misses with a clothesline, and again, Shooter McGee running forearm.
What's the matter, old man? You ain't too smart
And I think
no
Chris
more.
Turner again
Get
may
what you
have
didn't
just
see
hit his head
there.
again, bouncing off the mat. Neckbreaker.
That's it.
I think the damage might be done. I think Shooter McGee might have this one wrapped up. Goes for the pin here. One.
That's right.
So that was I guess Shooter McGee not done yet and brings out brass knuckles.
I will disqualify you. Come on, no. Come on, I will disqualify you.
And Chris Turner blocked that shot, going after the brass knucks, it looks like. Referee begging Chris Turner not to do it. Fans want him to do it. And Chris Turner just knocked out Shooter McGee cold using those brass knuckles blatantly. I don't think I've ever seen Chris Turner act this way, intentionally getting disqualified. Shooter McGee, low blow, but it was a direct shot of those brass knucks right into the jaw of Shooter McGee. Chris Turner gets disqualified. Shooter McGee is going to be our winner. But these guys are brawling now. This has turned into a street fight. This is out of control. I've never seen Chris Turner act this way. But I think he was fed up with the antics of the Diamond Exchange. Shooter McGee, Diamond Dave, Daniel Anderson. We saw his opportunity to hit Shooter McGee with those brass knuckles. And he took it. Cost him the match, but I don't really think he cares. And these guys are still going at it. This feud is certainly not over. This one was supposed to be the one that ended this rivalry, but obviously there is unfinished business as these guys cannot stop fighting their way back into the locker room. Referees are all but helpless here. Finally, have some bodies in between these two guys. Shooter McGee is your winner here tonight. He's asking for 5 more minutes. And Shooter McGee not wanting to back down. Referees have called this one. So I think Chris Turner made a big point here tonight. Right now, it's not about winning or losing matches. Shooter McGee was gunning for Chris Turner, and Chris Turner fought back tonight in a big way.
Ladies and gentlemen, the referee's decision. The winner of the match, by disqualification, the Shooter McGee.
I have to admit, ordinarily this would be the time of the show where a match that ends in controversy certainly wouldn't be any more of a shock to me, especially had the shoes been on the other foot and the Shooter had been the one that had used the brass knucks. But Rock and Roll Chris Turner showing a side that I don't think any of us are really used to seeing. He was the one that went out. He was the aggressor. He grabbed the knuckles and took it upon himself to attack Shooter McGee in the match. Shooter was keeping it in the middle of the ring, and that's how a match should end. Everything else that led up to that aside, that is how the match ended, and Rock and Roll Chris Turner was disqualified. So, again, just like earlier in the show, like I said concerning the previous match, let's see where this one goes. WrestleBash is right around the corner, and these two definitely have not ended their bitter war with each other, and it's only going to culminate at WrestleBash. And I definitely want to be at ringside when that happens. Now on to something I don't want to say less serious, because as I've said in recent past, our sponsors are definitely near and dear to our hearts here at CCW. They put food on the table for us. They help us bring the fantastic action we bring to you fans, and we really wouldn't exist without them. That being said, a gentleman that has definitely given us or benefacted us a lot lately, his name is Nate Powers. As you saw in last week's show, he made 2 appearances. One in the ring that was kind of unannounced and a little unscrupulous, and then an even more unscrupulous apology afterwards. We here at CCW did not take that lightly and have opted to end our relationship with Nate Powers as far as him being a sponsor. However, we do have an obligation to allow him one more opportunity to speak on camera. And so I guess without further ado, let's go ahead and hear from Nate Powers.
How's it going, CCW fans? This is the #1 guru of power size, Nate Powers, here on your screen right now. And you have to forgive my appearance. I am a little sweaty. I have looked a little bit better, but that's from using the power size program. Speaking of the power size program, I do hate to finally say that CCW and the Power Size program are no longer working together. It is a sad, sad day to admit that. However, it is okay because it's highly doubtful that anyone in CCW was going to use the program anyway. Have you seen them? Boy, they look like the laziest. That doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. What matters is that Nate Powers is going on to bigger and better things. I am sorry, CCW. It's not you. Well, yeah, it's definitely you. And I am going on to the great, big, beautiful unknown. But if you want to change your life, if you want to get revitalized, then just come and find me, Nate Powers, so I can do that with power size.
You know what? If I'm being perfectly honest, I'm really glad I am not going to have to apologize for him anymore. I did it last week. Fans, please, from the bottom of my heart and the board of directors and we here at the CCW family, one final time for Nate Powers, I apologize. But that's it. He's not getting any more mulligans. He had his time to speak. I personally don't appreciate what he said. You as the fans don't appreciate what he said. And I got to be honest with you, I'm definitely certain the talent here in Continental Championship Wrestling would never appreciate what he said, and they'd probably have something to say to him up close and personal. That being said, not to sound redundant, we've been working on a little bit of a project. You've seen me kind of bounce in and out on the show periodically over the last several months here, and I haven't exactly been in front of the camera, but it's all not without cause. We're going to be debuting a new segment here, not just on the webcast, but also on Facebook and a few of our other pages on the internet. I'm going to be bringing to you a new thing that I like to call the moment. It's only going to be for a moment. It's going to be my moment, and I'm going to be able to bring you not just the news, but some my own personal thoughts on things, the way they are concerning CCW, and I can't wait to be able to present it to you because I have some things I'd like to say, and I think you folks are really, really going to love what I've got to say. Until then, WrestleBash 2018, I almost called it something else, is right around the corner, and we definitely want you to keep following us here at ccwrestling.biz, on YouTube, on our Facebook page, and on Instagram, and follow us all around the world, ladies and gentlemen, because WrestleBash is going to be huge, and it's going to be live and in charge. Until then, my name is Brian Blitz, and I will see you at ringside.
Have you ever dreamed of being a professional wrestler? Have you ever dreamed of making it to the top and wearing championship gold? Well, here is your opportunity. Email us today at customerservice@ccwrestling.biz. The CCW Training School is accepting new students now. Start your journey today on your way to greatness.